So for the next bit of my trip, after staying in the very weird sort of hippie guest house, I came down here to here and through to Nodo Hantor, where I stopped in Nanao for a couple of nights, and then I moved up here and went around the whole peninsula, which was devastated by earthquake. I stopped here for a night and then came down here, stopped here for another night, and then came down here, and somewhere near here I I went on the beach for about 8 kilometers, which was a lot of fun, and then came down to Kanazawa. I'm on the Nodo Hantor, Nodo Peninsula, about 5 kilometers from Amaritsu. On January the 1st, 2024, there was a massive earthquake here that flattened large areas, and there was a big tsunami. It was a 7.6 on the Richter scale. The Japanese government has rehoused a lot of people, at least temporarily, in these places here. This is an example of one. And here's the Jimny, of course. I guess that some of them have a nice view, but last night in an izakaya I asked a guy what the government was really doing for them, and he kind of drew a line with his finger across the map of Nodo Hantor and swiped it away, implying that the government wasn't really doing anything for them. You see, this is typical Japanese. They've started to grow vegetables and stuff outside their little homes. I'd like to have a chat with some of them, but I don't want to intrude, and there's nobody actually hanging around. I guess that these people have decent view as well, but that's nothing compared to losing their homes and everything. Basically, in this village on the Nodo Hantor, all the buildings were wiped out. Almost everything is gone. You notice the telephone poles are also not straight. Over here is more empty land, where once there was a thriving little community. More government housing for people displaced by the earthquake. It looks like there's tons of it around here, that this area must have been hit about as bad as it gets. Can you see the white down there? That's where the seabed was raised 1.5 to 2 meters out of the sea by the earthquake. Can you imagine the power of something to lift the seabed 1.5 to 2 meters? It's just unbelievable. There are lots of these traffic lights on the roads where the road is blocked, and the government so far hasn't cleaned it up, or maybe never will, who knows.
ここから輪島。ここから輪島だからね。
This 私ビデオしていい？
何？
ビデオ。This old lady just told me her story about the earthquake. It will take a long time for me to explain in English, but I wanted you to see her face. In the earthquake, 80% of the houses in this area were destroyed. She thinks that the sea level rose by 2 meters. She was explaining to me that when the earthquake happened, she was actually not here. She was in Wajima, which is about 30 kilometers away, shopping, and she got stuck there for 3 or 4 days and had to walk back most of the way because the roads were all blocked. She's a very tough lady and tells a very good story. I've been driving on this road that has been rebuilt to replace a tunnel that has collapsed during the earthquake. So far I've been on it for about, I don't know, a couple of kilometers. So they've done marvels in 1 year since the, well, nearly 2 years now since the disaster. But this is a totally new road that wasn't here before. It was a tunnel through the mountains. So this is the guest house I slept in last night, which is called Kuroshima. It's in a historic area where unfortunately half the buildings have been damaged by the earthquake. As you know, it's my plan to try and stay in like cheap places as much as possible. This one was like 5,000 yen per night for a dorm room. I probably haven't slept in a dorm room for 40 years. This time I shared with it was a mixed dorm room, but in this case the mixed dorm room meant mixed race with 1 Brit and 2 Japanese guys. This is the staircase, which is a traditional Japanese staircase, which is way too steep. Nasty going up and really dangerous going down. So here is the dorm room. And here is my my bed, where I slept much better than I expected. There's something kind of cozy about it, like capsule-like. Normally in Japan, roads are like a billiard table in some ways. This Nodo area, after the earthquake, I'm not sure how it's going here, but they're pretty rough. The captain told me that he'd been doing this for about 50 years, which is very good news, because the rocks around here are awful. We just came through that path there. The fire alarm has gone off for the second time. I was the only one who heard it last time. There doesn't seem to be any fire, just the alarm. I have this book that at temples they write something in it and put red stamps on it. And the lady doesn't want me to do a video of her, but it's happening. This is Shirahama, not far from Kanazawa, but the only place I know in Japan where you're allowed to drive on the beach. There's an 8-kilometer stretch here that we can go have some fun on. I think last time I drove on sand like this was in Namibia in a Land Rover and we got stuck.